My name's Natasha Devon and I suffered from bulimia nervosa for about a decade. I began to feel the emotions that I later associated with my eating disorder very, very young. I was emotionally abused by my stepdad from the age of about 3. And I started to feel like there was this pain inside me that I couldn't express, but it needed to come out in some way. When I was 18, I was a straight A student, I was a champion debater, I loved music, I loved theatre, and all that went. I sacrificed everything. I had no career really. My relationship with my friends and my family was very strained. I couldn't hold down a romantic relationship. I was so incredibly moody. And I had nothing. I had nothing in my life. I had all this potential and I'd wasted it. And so I was just going through every day, making myself sick, feeling bad about myself. I used to cry myself to sleep every single night. And because bulimics quite often are a normal weight or even slightly above a normal weight, people don't know. They don't know what you're going through. People are shocked when they say that my teeth were crumbling from the inside out. I had a hole in the roof of my mouth, I had a hole in the lining of my stomach, hospitalised twice with dehydration from overdosing on laxatives and diuretics. And that shocks people. For me, what I went through emotionally was so much worse because every day it was like torture. I didn't want to get out of bed and face the world and face this life that I'd made for myself. And that's why, just before I came to see Mark, I actually thought about killing myself.
I helped Natasha develop a sense of identity, a sense of who she is. And that's something that people with eating disorders lose track of. They lose track of who they are. And that's an important part of being a human being, is having a sense of who we are and having a sense of self-esteem, liking ourselves. So for people with eating disorders, that's one of the big things they need to get over, is instead of hating themselves and the behaviour that they're actually showing, is actually loving themselves for who they are.
When I first left university, I wanted to be a singer. I've always been incredibly passionate about music. My manager had it in his mind that you had to follow a certain route, a certain formula in order to be successful. And one element of that formula was looking like a pop star. And I never accepted this. I wasn't going to apologise for the way I looked. I was quite firm about it. So what he did was he got me a gig on the London acoustic circuit, and then asked everybody who was at the gig for their feedback. Of about the 20 emails that he showed me, there was one which said, wow, that girl's got a really good voice. The rest were, she needs to lose weight, she needs, the fact that she hasn't lost weight shows me that she doesn't take the music industry seriously. And I was distraught, absolutely distraught, that people were listening with their eyes. And the whole time people have been telling me, this is how the world works, this is how the world works, this is what you've got to do in order to be successful. And I never believed them, because I had a head full of ideas and I was going to make them come true. And then it made me stop and say, actually, this is how people think. My eating disorder at that point just increased tenfold from what it had been.
They can tell in your eyes that you've been hurting. They can tell by your face the cracks in your heart. But when you've stripped it, they can see why. Your perfect world is falling apart.
So that's why it was so important for me to let go. All the guilt and the pain that I felt inside was what was infusing my behaviour. And once I let that go, the eating disorder went with it. So now I know that there is hope, that it is possible to recover. And that's why I'm so passionate about helping other people to go on a similar journey to me.
Your vision impossible.
There's a conspiracy of silence around eating disorders. We don't talk about it enough. That's why I decided to start talking to young people. In my experience, there is a huge community of people out there who want to see a change in the way that beauty is perceived. And we have finally acknowledged that we can't pass the buck as far as eating disorders are concerned. We are recognising the responsibility, things are changing, and it's just a question of finding all those people who have that attitude, uniting together, and there is, I very firmly believe, going to be a revolution.
Please don't cry. Your body's so beautiful, and you don't know who's falling in love with your smile. You won't find your vision impossible, and you don't know who's falling in love with your smile. You're precious, oh so precious in my eyes. I love who you are, not your baggy junk.